What's going on? What's going on, guys? Pegasus and the Wise Guys, and I'm here with
Matt Roberts.
All right, so
The bum.
The bum himself. I see a monkey with piano for teeth.
The funniest card here in the world. I don't know about you.
And beyond the pendulum. I've heard a lot about that.
She's all right. I'd rather have electrolyte, but that's beside the point.
Hey, get it how you live.
I played when she was at 3, but that's beside the point. We got one monkey board. We're going to start this off. Very fresh. Monkey board adds you one Performapal monster when he is in scale. The turn he is activated. And if you don't have another Performapal in the other scale, he becomes level 4. He becomes a 4 scale. Beyond Pendulum will negate that because it does have no text on it that says that part cannot be negated. So he can be a 1 scale and a 4 scale at the same time. So yeah.
Interesting.
Then we got 3 Jokers. Joker's one of the best cards for this deck. Joker adds you a Magician, Odd Eyes, or Performapal monster when he's normal summoned. Sad thing is, it's on normal summon. But that's alright. Then we got 3 Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer. Pendulum Sorcerer adds you up to 2 Performapal monsters with different names, equal to how many cards you destroy. So if you destroy 2, you get 2. So usually these 2 or just 1. So which is either one of these 2. So when you summon this guy, you're usually summoning it with Harmonizing because chain blocking. We love it. Harmonizing specials out a Magician from your deck that's good, has its effect negated and summon in defense. She's a tuner. She's pretty good. Very good.
I've heard a lot of stories about her. I've heard.
Then we got 3 Double Iris. Double Iris is also very good. Double Iris will search you a Pendulum Graph card. This can add Time Pendulum Graph, Star Pendulum Graph, and the new Ritual Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph Dragon. Because it is a Pendulum Graph card. Mind you on that. So it can be a spell trap, it can be a spell negate. But you will not be getting the Ritual Summon aspect to summon out an Odd Eyes from your extra deck, unless you are playing the Odd Eyes Advent. But that's beside the point. So,
Odd Eyes Advent isn't out yet, right?
It has been out.
That one's been out. Okay. I can't keep up with the pendulum stuff. That's why we have you in. He's like, I know.
Then we got 3 Wizamai. Wizamai is one of the best scale fixers in this game because if you have a Performapal in the other scale or a Magician, pop himself to place a Magician in scale. It is not a once per turn. But you cannot grab a different Wizamai from deck, so you can scale 2 Wizamais to make a Double Iris and Oath in scale. Oath grabs you back a Magician from your extra deck if you have another Magician in the other scale. And when this card is normal or special summon, add back a Magician or Odd Eyes monster from your graveyard back to hand. It comes up every once in a while, but not too often, because usually your Magicians are not engraved. But other than that, those are the 3 most names that we play. And then we got 1 Performapal Celestial. Celestial has a multitude of effects, but the one that mostly happens, that comes out the most, is when this card is summoned this turn, you can activate it depending on what cards are on your side of the board. Like if you have a Fusion, it can attack directly. Synchro, your opponent cannot respond to this. It cannot activate monster effects for the rest of the turn. Synchros doubles attacks, or is that Xyz? No, Xyz doubles the attack. If you have another Pendulum, you search a Pendulum monster during the end phase. She is very versatile in what she does, and she does it very well. And she is a Performapal monster and a Magician, so it kind of coalesces the 2 together. So you can also search this off a monkey board. That's what most people are doing. But I prefer not to because I'd rather grab Skulkerbat Joker as my normal summon.
Then so actually is the connector in the whole deck. I got you.
Yes. Then we got 1 Black Fang Magician. Black Fang gets you back a can either do Dark XYZ Dragon, whatever his name is.
He's like, I don't know. I just know what he looks like.
I know what I'm talking about, and everyone else does. Basically, popping himself to half one of your opponent's monsters' attacks, and when this card is destroyed on field by battle or card effects, special back a dark spellcaster from graveyard, so you can special back this girl to extend.
Because she's a dark spellcaster. Oh, that's dumb.
It is very dumb.
Nice.
Then we play one purple poison. Purple poison will be popping a card on your opponent's turn, usually with time penalty back. Because, thank you, Konami. We appreciate this.
Sure do appreciate it.
And then we got one of the cooler cards, Astrograph Sorcerer, to 1.
I've heard that card is pretty strong. I've heard that's pretty strong.
All right, so Astrograph, I'm going to have a stroke because of this, but that's beside the point. So Astrograph Sorcerer, when a card is on your side of the board is destroyed.
We'll let your mom know. It'll be okay.
Yeah, I'll be fine. When a card on your side of the board is destroyed, you can special this card from hand and then add a Pendulum monster with the same name that's face up in your extra deck. So if you have a double iris face up in your scale and you pop the double iris on board, you can special this man, add another double iris, or if you have Wisdom Eye in face up extra deck, you can add another Wisdom Eye, so on and so forth.
All right. he's stressed out about it, man. He's like, I'm just trying to explain Astrograph the right way.
And then we got one of my homies, Chronograph Sorcerer. Chronograph Sorcerer does kind of the same thing. It's Astrograph, but special is a monster from hand, so a lot more simple. And also in scale, the same thing goes for Astrograph. Special the little one that's coalescing to him. This one's Time Gazer. This one's Stargazer, but don't play Stargazer because this is one of. And I'd rather open
And
this.
the other one, yeah, Stargaze is terrible.
Stargazer is worse, but this one, his effect does come up if your opponent tries to pop your scales.
He's protecting him.
He protects him once per turn. So it comes up sometimes, but not all the time. Then we play 3 Tuning Magician. Tuning Magician, whenever this card is summoned, is a mandatory effect for you to lose 400 and your opponent gain 400. That is not once per turn. The hard once per turn is specialing this card from your hand or graveyard if you have 2 Magicians in your scales.
So that happens a lot.
It does. Usually this is what you're link climbing off of with Hulk, or to make access code, or a 2 material Appaloosa with Swarm.
Nice.
And then we got the Sack Master himself. Sorry.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So moving on from there.
Please don't theory. We're not theorying Artifact Site.
We're not theorying Artifact Site. I do not play, I'm going to preface this real quick. I'm not playing how Triff plays it, where we have Prosperities. I do not like it. That's just my personal opinion. But I play 3 Lure because of draw 2, and you play a lot of darks.
Right.
But that's so.
The end.
The end. I play 2 Duelist Alliance because I don't like always seeing it or always opening it, but it is a good card to open. It comes up when necessary, and it's there when necessary. It does bait out hand traps, which is always nice.
So you just felt like being the cool kid to play 2. I got you.
Damn straight.
Hey, it's my deck. I can do what I want.
Then we play 1 Pendulum Call. I like the card, but I also hate the card.
Why do you hate
A lot. I hate it because I like popping my scales, and I cannot pop my scales when I activate Pendulum Call.
it? Yeah. Because it's not free.
Because it's not free. That is my one art. That is why I only play 1. But when it comes up, it comes up. Well, I like opening this going second because it gives me my scales and I know I'm protected with them.
Yep.
That's the only reason why we play 1. You can play more than 1 if you want to, but how I want to play it, I only want to play 1. It's how I agree with it, but that's besides me. And we play Callback because it's a combo deck. Then we got Star Pendulum Graph and Time Pendulum Graph. Some of the most busted cards that Pendulum has.
Yeah, I still think that's one of the craziest interactions in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that trap card, especially if you're under Pendulum Call.
What what these cards do is gets you so much more advantage than it's necessary.
Yeah.
That's
to say the least.
that is the most easiest way, but I'll go over these real quick. So, Start Pendulum Graph. The main effects that these two both share are your spellcasters cannot be targeted by trap and spells. Those don't come up very often unless your opponent activates Imperm. That's the only time this one ever comes up. But that's not often. This one doesn't come off as often for the first effect, but it's mostly the second effect for both of these. Whenever a magician leaves your side of the board, search another magician. It doesn't matter if it's getting link summoned, pops, anything that happens to a magician, you search another magician.
Yeah.
It replaces them. Time Pendulum Graph. Pops a magician you control in one of your opponent's cards. If one of them was not destroyed, send a card. Non-target send. So it can out the Dragoons. It can out Dragoons. Which is stupid. But it's really good.
Sounds good. So that's 40? 40 something. He's like, I don't even know.
Over 40.
He's like,
I'm
I've
not
been play
counting.
testing the combos.
I've been playing that deck for way too long and
Yeah.
it feels way too good. One Beyond Pendulum. You don't need to play more than one. You only need to play one. Bond Pendulum Zoos. It requires 2 monsters. One of them has to be a Pendulum monster. So if we had Electromite, you could make Electromite and make this bitch. I don't know why you would, but you can. But what she does is you pay 12. If this card is summoned to the extra monster zone, pay 12. Search a Pendulum monster, any Pendulum monster, and you cannot activate any card effects for the rest of this turn, and your scales are negated. Then, if you Pendulum summon to both their zones, and both of the monsters have different original levels, pop 2 cards. Target 2 cards, pop them. So you can chain block and pop some scales if you feel like it. Then we play Hulk, Dagda, Celine, Bowl Sword, Actus Code, Appaloosa. These are the only link monsters you're ever going to summon and ever going to need. I can assure you that for as long as I've been playing this. Besides that, F8 on Dragster, Baron D-Fair, and Savage. I like playing Dog Dragster because he does come up every once in a while and has a spell trap negate. With Piercing, Baron's good because if you make Harmonizing and you summon Oath, there's your Baron. That's what you're usually going to be doing. Savage comes up every once in a while when it comes down to a simplified game state. Then we got one Zeus, Tornado Dragon, Dorito, Time Gazer, and Plan B.
Why this guy?
Dorito is a spell trap negate. Or is it just a spell negate? Spell trap negate.
He's like, I don't even remember.
Just had to double check.
So that'd be the obvious cut because you're like, wait, what do you do again?
I don't make her that often, but she does come up when you are in a more spell trap heavy format. And you have 2 level 4s on board that you just... 2 level 6s on board that just aren't doing anything, so you just overlay them. Zeus is there for obvious reasons, so is Tornado Dragon. So was Time
So you usually try to tornado pop side? Is that the general way to, yeah.
I don't play the Wonder Magician because I don't like it personally. I'd rather have a more consistent inboard with that not clogging up the scale or the extra monster zone.
All right.
So yeah.
Well, that's your take, bro. I see you. We're out. Shout out to this TV sleep.